Good morning, St. James friends. It's so wonderful to be able to connect with you even though I can't see you. I miss seeing your smiling faces at church during Wednesday Night Life and on Sunday mornings. Since we can't be together in person as we work together to keep each other safe, I wanted to share this week's J.A.M lesson with you over YouTube. I want to thank our friends at Spark House who are allowing me to share it with you in this way. Now, before we start, if you need to, please pause this recording and go and gather up some supplies that you'll need for our lesson. You'll need blank paper, crayons or markers, a big blanket, and some strips of cloth or toilet paper. Go ahead and pause now, and I'll wait right here. Okay, I hope you're ready. During this lesson, you'll want to keep that pause button nearby, as we'll be stopping often to give you space to talk to each other and to do some activities. Are you ready? Let's go. So today is the fifth Sunday of Lent, and Lent is a time where we learn about being God's people through prayer, through giving, through sacrifice, and through worship. In our Bible story today, people are grieving. Well, what is grieving? Grieving or grief is a type of sadness that we feel when we lose someone or something that we love. Perhaps right now you're feeling some grief because right now we can't go to school or play with our friends or see each other at church. Our Bible story today is going to teach us about having hope, even when we are grieving. Now I'd like you to get out your paper and crayons or markers. I want you to think about, what kind of pets do you have? What kinds of special toys do you have? Have you ever lost your favorite toy or lost a pet because it died? How do we feel when we lose someone or something that we love? That's right, we grieve. We feel sad inside. Sometimes we even cry. In our Bible story today, Jesus loses a good friend. Jesus cries. I'd like you to draw a picture of how you feel when you lose something or someone you love. You can pause the video here while you draw and share your drawings with your family. I bet your pictures are really nice and show a lot of different feelings. If you'd like to share your picture with me, you can send me a photograph of you with your picture. I would love that. Now let's take a look at our Bible story for today. It's called Lazarus Up from the Grave. The disciples had never seen Jesus cry, but he was crying now. Jesus put his arm around Mary. Her face was wet with tears. Mary and Martha's brother Lazarus, a good friend of Jesus, had died. When Jesus heard Lazarus was sick, he was in another town far away. Jesus waited 2 days before traveling to Bethany to see his friend. By the time Jesus and the disciples arrived, Lazarus had died. If you had been here, Mary cried, Lazarus would not have died. Your brother Lazarus will rise again, Jesus assured Mary. Mary wiped her tears. Jesus, Mary, and her sister Martha went to the tomb. Friends and neighbors gathered around the tomb to grieve with Mary and Martha. Remove the stone, Jesus said. The crowd shoved aside the huge stone blocking the tomb. Martha whispered, But Jesus, Lazarus has already been dead for 4 days. Jesus turned his eyes to God and prayed, Father, thank you for always hearing me. Help this crowd see what's about to happen and believe. Lazarus, Jesus shouted, come out. The crowd gasped. It was Lazarus, walking out of the tomb. Lazarus was alive again. Many people who saw this believed in God. Wow, what an amazing story. I think the best part of the story is when Lazarus comes out of the tomb. Let's have some fun reenacting that part of the story. You can choose someone to play Lazarus and wrap that person with bands of cloth or toilet paper. Build a cave using a large blanket and a table or couch cushions. I'll put up the script for the scene, and you can act it out a few times until everyone has had a turn being Lazarus. Pause the video on the script until you're ready to move on. I hope you had fun acting out the story. Now I'm going to put up some questions for you and your families to discuss together. You can pause the video when the questions pop up so that you can talk about some of them together. When you're ready to move on, restart this video. In today's story, Jesus cried and prayed to God. Jesus felt grief, but he also showed that there is still hope, even when we experience grief. You may never find that lost toy, and someone coming back from the dead isn't likely to happen, but we can still find hope in sad times. Grab another piece of paper for each person and get the crayons or markers back out. Let's think about some places we find hope when we are grieving. I'll start. Praying and talking to God helps me feel hopeful. Right now, I'm feeling kind of sad because I have lost the ability to worship with you all on Sundays. I know that we'll get that back someday, but right now it makes me sad that I can't see you. But I pray to Jesus and share my feelings, and I know that Jesus understands. I know Jesus understands because of this story. Jesus lost his friend and showed how sad he was by crying. So when I tell Jesus about my sadness, I know that he understands how I feel. Knowing that someone understands gives me hope. Now you can pause this video and spend a little bit of time thinking of other things or people that give you hope when you are grieving. After you draw some pictures or write some words, share them with your family. When you're finished, start this video again. I hope you were able to think of some good ways to find hope when you are grieving. A hug from someone we love can really help. Remembering that we'll see that person or pet we love in heaven someday can help too. If we lost a favorite toy, sometimes we can find another toy to play with. And sometimes the only thing that helps when we grieve is time. Our hearts are very good at healing, so even though we will always miss that thing or that person we lost, it won't hurt quite as much or quite as often. And if being away from your friends in school is making you grieve right now, we can be hopeful that someday all the smart scientists and doctors will make this coronavirus go away so that we can see each other again. Jesus shows us that when we experience grief, there is still hope. Praying, singing, and being with loved ones are all ways to find hope. Now let's do a quick review of our story for today. Lazarus died in our story. How did people feel when Lazarus died? Yeah, many people felt sad about Lazarus, including Jesus. Jesus showed his sadness with tears. Jesus raised Lazarus back to life, giving everyone new hope as they believed in Jesus' power and love for them. Will you pray with me? This is a simple prayer that has some motions. I'll show you the prayer, and then we can do it together. When I grieve, Lord, you give me hope. Will you do it with me? When I grieve, look sad. Lord, you give me hope. Smile. One more time. When I grieve, Lord, give me hope. Amen. Thanks, everyone. I hope you had a great week. Leave a comment below to say hi to your St. James friends, or send me an email to let me know what else would be helpful for you this week. Bye-bye for now.